Welcome to the SMITE God reveal for Kamazotz, deadly god of bats. In the darkness, he hides, patient as the night is silent, his eyes fixated on the prey that scampers beneath him. Whether beast, mortal, or god, satisfying the unquenchable thirst for blood is all that matters. Kamazotz, the bat god, spreads his leathery wings and devours all who cross him. One day, Jabalanque and his brother Hunahpu ventured into Xibalba, unaware of the terror within its caves. They became surrounded by bats, screeching and flapping with frenzied glee. The hero twins cowered and hid, hoping for the dawn to light their way out. In a fit of panic, Hunahpu lifted his head to check for light. Kamazotz leapt and with deadly swiftness snatched Hunahpu's head clean from his neck. Victorious, he presented his prize as a trophy to the other underworld gods and as a reminder of his power. Long has Kamazotz hung from his perch, watching as gods clash and spill their sweet blood upon the earth. He's waited, ever watchful, ever patient, for the moment to strike. And now that the moon has risen and night has come, Kamazotz has disappeared into the darkness but will soon emerge, hungry for battle and blood. Kamazotz's passive is Essence Drinker. Anytime a god dies, they leave behind a pool of their essence in the spot they were slain. Kamazotz may stand inside these pools to drink the essence, replenishing his health and mana. If Kamazotz is out of combat, he drinks faster. Kamazotz's first ability is Screech. Kamazotz screeches loudly and launches a sound wave that pierces through minions, dealing damage. If Screech hits an enemy god, the sound wave will cause an echo. If Kamazotz is hit by the echo, he gains vision of the god that was hit by Screech for a long period and gains bonus physical power for the duration. Kamazotz's second ability is Vampire Bats. Kamazotz commands a swarm of bats to fly out and attack a single target, damaging and slowing them before carrying back health to Kamazotz. If the target was a jungle buff monster, they will be marked and Kamazotz will receive a stackable vampirism buff that lasts for a few minutes in addition to the health. Marked monsters will not provide Kamazotz with another stack of vampirism. The buff increases healing received and provides physical lifesteal. Kamazotz's third ability is Devour. Kamazotz leaps forward a short distance, dealing damage on impact and healing himself for each enemy hit. Kamazotz's ultimate ability is Bat Out of Hell. Kamazotz flies into the air, becoming CC immune for the next 3 seconds. While flying, he may swoop forward to deal damage. He may do this up to 3 times, landing after the third swoop. Hitting more than one enemy god per swoop will deal additional damage to enemies beyond the first god hit. This means that hitting more than one god per swoop will help you deal additional damage to each additional god hit, where the second god hit takes more damage than the first god hit, and the third god hit takes more damage than the second god hit, and so on. Kamazotz is great at poking down enemies through the use of Screech and Vampire Bats. Landing both of these abilities can harm enemies while restoring health, setting yourself up strongly in case a fight breaks out over a key point. Kamazotz's strength comes from his ability to avoid damage and heal up when he does take damage. Vampire Bats is a quick way to restore health in the middle of a fight, but Devour also provides a nice burst heal while also allowing you to avoid abilities that would normally hit you if you were just walking. In a real pinch, you can use his ultimate to leave the fight. Knowing when and how to use these abilities will be the difference between finding your prey or being preyed upon. Kamazotz always wants to keep up his stacks of vampirism, which will often result in him trying to feed on the enemy's jungle camps. You do not need to kill jungle buff monsters with your second ability to obtain a stack of vampirism. So if you don't feel like you can safely steal enemy buffs, you can run by them for a bite. If you do run into trouble, Devour can help you leap over some walls, especially some of the thin ones in the jungle. Knowing how Vampire Bats works and which walls you can leap with Devour will benefit you greatly. While not always possible, Kamazotz will often want to lead with Screech to receive a power buff for his follow-up abilities. Since his power buff affects everything from his basics to his ability damage, the difference between having the buff and not having the buff in a team fight can be large. Kamazotz is an assassin who focuses on sustaining himself and looking for chances to harass and take buffs from his enemies. Abilities like Vampire Bats and Devour allow him to quickly restore health to keep him fighting, while abilities like Screech and Bat Out of Hell allow him to get the upper hand and chase down opponents. Pair Kamazotz with early game powerhouses like Emir and Poseidon to exert pressure on the enemy's jungle or characters such as Aphrodite that can sustain him for longer periods of time. Kamazotz is a very strong jungler, so this build will focus on his jungling potential. Start with Vampire Bats, as it is his strongest clearing tool and allows him to start getting stacks of vampirism immediately. Next, get Screech to get a second poke tool, as well as helping him keep track of the enemy jungler if an early fight happens. Devour is your next pickup to allow you to move quicker through the jungle, as well as having an extra sustain and engage tool. Once you have a second point in Vampire Bats, you will want to prioritize Bat Out of Hell, then Vampire Bats, and then choose between Screech and Devour. Screech is a stronger poke tool and will give you a powerful physical buff, but if you find yourself dying too quickly, the extra heal from Devour may be more valuable. Prioritize whichever fits your playstyle. Kamazotz wants to build aggressive like a normal assassin, but because of his healing, investing slightly into defenses along the way can help him really stay in a fight. Start with Boomba's mask, boots, and a few potions to help you clear the jungle. Focusing on getting Warrior's Tabby so you can move quickly to fights while enjoying the nice power spike. Void Shield will be your next pickup since it will still help him deal damage while increasing your defenses. Jotun's Wrath is a solid next choice since Kamazotz relies on his abilities to deal damage. Reducing the cooldowns of your abilities will increase how much damage and healing he can do over a longer fight. Close out your build with Magi's Blessing and Shifter's Shield. Kamazotz's worst case scenario is getting crowd controlled before he can escape or heal. So Magi's Blessing serves a key role in keeping him in a fight, while Shifter's Shield gives him increased aggression or defense, depending on how the fight is going. Thanks for watching the SMITE God reveal for Kamazotz, Deadly God of Bats.